Unless unless you can take care of that for me.
I got you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Okay, we'll give it 30 seconds or so, then we'll start diving in. Let's see, we got a few people that have come just for this. I can see already. Let me get a roll call here. Okay, so everybody, this is Kenneth Winspaziani, CEO of Accelerated Evolution, and I am here with Stuart Jeff, the design director on Dropzone from Sparky Pants, who I could not be, more excited to have. So say what up, Stu.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you guys taking the time.
Oh no, thank you. So I guess as a first question, so I've noticed that with the numerous pilots and rigs, there's a potential fan lore that's been kind of going around, and it's something I began to see spring up. Fan art, short stories. Do you think in its own way the community is creating their own lore in the way that, let's say, Overwatch fans began to write their own lore, love interest between characters, and is Sparky Pants willing to embrace this sort of community effort?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we really think that the community is really the heart of this game. It's it's something that we hope will be a really competitive experience for a lot of people, and for that to really work, everybody kind of has to be involved. At every level, really. So having people getting excited about our characters, like there's nothing more thrilling as a developer to see people get really excited about the creations you've had and start adding to their lore. And yeah, I think it's awesome, and that's definitely something I'd love to see a lot more of as we go forward.
Yeah, I'm glad to have been seeing it spring up. It was unexpected for me, initially. But when I saw it, started to see some of these fan arts and stuff, I was like, okay, that's groovy.
Yeah,
Um,
that's really cool. Yeah, I mean, you try to make these characters come to life for people, and I think a good part of that is about not filling in all the details. Just giving just a little bit of information to get people excited about them, and then hopefully they kind of start to fill in the gaps themselves. I think that's what really makes characters come alive.
yeah, I mean, that's what worked for like Overwatch, just a slight background, and people took it from there. And there's only a few titles that have really been able to nail that out with the fans, and I'm glad this is one of them that seems to have a starting base with that.
Cool, cool, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, now on to a more generic question, but so after a few years of no longer seeing any real-time strategy games,
Hmm.
uh, only MOBAs. And with the collective background, which includes devs from Rise of Nation and the rather, maybe I shouldn't say underrated, but underappreciated Kingdoms of Amulet, which
Hmm.
I absolutely adore. Uh,
Awesome, thanks.
the question I'm sure you end up getting over and over is, what was the main goal of the team in the early stages of Drop Zone, and have the results exceeded your expectations?
So, we started really small. It's just a few of us in the basement that, we had worked together in the past for a long time, and we're interested in starting something new. And, we're big RTS players ourselves. We've made a couple of RTSs. And honestly, like making games like Rise of Nations, I think was some of the most fun I've had as a developer. So we were interested to see if we could do something along those lines again. But we haven't really been playing a lot of RTSs in a long time, and we felt like a lot of other people had, StarCraft will always have its place, of course, but you don't see as many people getting hype about RTS these days. And so we were interested to see if we could take a lot of the feelings that got us excited about RTS to begin with, kind of repackage them in a way that maybe today's audience would get more excited about, and breathe some new life into the genre. And as far as like whether or not it's exceeded our expectations, I mean, this has just been incredible. And I think part of what has been most exciting to me as a developer is to just see how some of the pro community has taken to the game. Uh,
Oh yeah.
like Stefano is supposed to be playing soon on stream over on Take TV, and like just I just get so excited when I see those kind of like micro gods come in, and what they do with the game and how they just devour all the different abilities is just really exciting. So it's been cool seeing that happen over the past several months.
APM in the thousands.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of skip ahead to it because kind of going off that, and for ESL, when will do you believe we'll start seeing some consistent North American cups?
So, I'm North American, so obviously I'm really excited about North
Yeah.
American Cups. But, we've been, Gameforge is our publisher over in Germany, and so a lot of their sort of inroads into the professional community were through the European scene. And that's been really awesome. We've gotten to meet a lot of really incredible players over there. And I think we're just starting to get the word out in North America about this game. And, really, as soon as the players are there and, we've kind of had those relationships in the works already, then we'll start branching out and really start supporting North America and on the professional front as well.
All right, groovy. This is something I just personally wanted to share with you, and all right, so one of my good friends, a fellow content creator, fellow esports player. Her name is Namaslang, and
Yeah, I've seen the name in the queue. Yeah.
okay, so basically, I was trying a different build. I was trying to go with more summoners, etc. And the first person I got was her, and I'm like, it's like the one person I know, that I didn't expect to see in this queue. I end up getting, and let's see if I can find this 20-second clip is rather brutal. Let's see, I think I have it in GIF form, so I can just post it on the Discord. Yep, here we go. And that's just ultimate props to Nama. I just had to call GG. It was brutal.
That's awesome.
I just wanted to give a shout to Nama Slay there. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's rough, man.
Yeah, it's mad rough. So okay, so it seems that in 2017, of course, in my notes I put 2016 for some reason, but 2017 is the rise and return of the RTS it was seeing. First, we've had Dropzone, then I guess Halo Wars 2 was launched, but we're also getting Dawn of War 3.
Yeah.
Has the studio, around the time that you guys started development, were you aware of these other projects, and is this a true resurgence of the RTS genre in your eyes?
We started this game in November of 2014, and at the time, like, we kind of thought we might be a little insane trying to jump back into the RTS realm, but I honestly believe that there is, like, the zeitgeist is real. Like, when people start having ideas that they're excited about, somebody else is having a really similar idea at the same time. And so, for me, it's just kind of, I don't want to say expected, because I'm definitely not that omniscient, but like it's just kind of validating that, like, yeah, I was on the right track. Like, seeing a bunch of people getting excited about RTS, it felt like the time was right to me back in late 2014 that people would be excited about this kind of thing. MOBAs were huge, and I love playing MOBAs as well, but it's not all roses in the MOBA community all the time. That some of the toxicity can get people down, and just especially solo queuing can be a little bit brutal. And I thought people might be interested in getting back to the roots and trying some 1v1. And it seems like some other developers out there were on the same page. So I think it's awesome. I think it's great for players.
See, I started my pro esports career in the dual setting for FPS. I moved on to I played competitive CNC3, so dueling is what it's all about for me. So I totally dig it. Now, one thing I began to notice is that MOBAs began to fall into the I guess, I don't know if it's fair, but the MMO failure or prior to launch, they just wouldn't be able to finish the product.
Hmm.
And a few exceptionally talented studios ended up taking huge hits, or ended up being ended up disbanded due to this.
Hmm.
Um, and I, I guess that was for me signs that a bit too many MOBAs at once. I believe EA had a MOBA that I was testing for a little while there. I can't remember the title, um, and that went under shortly after I began testing it. And you never want to see a studio's work like that go under, but it was just an oversaturated market, and
Yeah, it's a tough industry. It's it you have to build up these games for years before you can really launch, and then a lot of it is there's just a lot of luck involved, honestly. And with us, we felt like there were already some just colossal giants over in the MOBA space. I mean, with Valve and Blizzard, and of course Riot, it's it's hard to jump in there and try to be number four or something like that. And honestly, we just weren't very interested in trying to make a traditional MOBA. That it's I think the formula is getting really strong, but there's already some really strong games in the mix. And I just personally I don't see a lot of excitement in trying to further refine that kind of formula. Whereas RTS, it's I think that those templates were set in place, a long time ago, and you still got great games out there like StarCraft. And I mean, hey, I'm super psyched for Dawn of War 3 myself, but
Roger that.
I think that it was a genre that was kind of ready for kind of a new take on the whole thing, and I think there were a lot of cool elements from MOBAs that. I mean, particularly the team fights are just incredible in MOBAs, and controlling the units and their abilities. And we wanted to try to see if we could kind of pull some of those elements in, and then bring some of the elements of RTS that we love, like particularly map control and really just being pulled in several directions at one time, and then combine it with something that was kind of out of left field. And that's our sports metaphor, with the scoring of points and having a
Mm.
clock that you've got to manage. I think that you put all those things together and it starts to feel really different from what else is out there.
Epic, because my next question had to do with the clock. So
Nice.
now I absolutely adore the 15-minute timer. Now, what was the deciding factor on 15-minute match time rather than 10 or 20? Was this just endless testing to see what felt right, or um, was it something internally that you guys just wanted to see? About 15 minutes. That way, it's not too much. It's not too
Mm-hmm.
little.
You
Was
know,
this found out over time, or was this initially thought of?
we tried out a couple of different time limits, but it was something that actually came together pretty quickly. That 15 minutes to us felt like uh, just the right amount of time investment. And at 20 minutes, that's a great match, right? But like, I feel like if I play a 20-minute match, there's a little bit less chance that I'm going to play another one right afterwards than if it's a 15-minute match. I know that those kind of like subtle psychology things, and then also just like quarters in traditional sports are oftentimes 15 minutes, and that all kind of just came together to feel right. And then we were able to really balance the game around that 15 minutes, trying to get the right progression that we were looking for. And a lot of what the initial motivation with just having a clock in general was just, I mean, I'm a big sports fan. I love football. I love basketball, and seeing like those buzzer beating moments in basketball in particular, where somebody hits the shot, as
Huh.
the buzzer goes off, like
Yeah.
that's just so exciting, and you don't see that much of that in video games. And so we really wanted to try to capture those kind of elements, and not just have it be at the end of the match, but have a bunch of different little buzzer beating moments where you see it a lot with like total vision battles, for example. Somebody will dash in and stop the capture from happening at the last second, and then turn the fight in their favor. And I think that stuff is so much fun as a player, but it's also really fun as a spectator to watch people have those kind of comebacks. And that was a lot of the motivation, and just trying to kind of mix up the traditional strategy game formula and inject some ideas from other things like traditional sports.
All right, groovy. Let's take our first user question. It's going to be from John Pitati Wendell. He said, "I need to jet, so at WinD, please ask, does the studio support or have any, plans to support play at QuakeCon 17?"
Oh, I mean, we're happy for people to play it anywhere and everywhere. I actually don't know our schedule in that regard myself, but yeah, like I said, we're always excited to get people playing the game and helping out with tournaments in whatever way we can.
Because this year's QuakeCon, they're moving to a bigger venue, and if you guys held a tournament, Accelerated Evolution would be more than glad to throw in a prize pool
That's awesome.
to aid. I mean, just to get the best players possible. They're there, and
Yeah, man, I'll plant that seed with the right people.
All right. So moving on along. Okay, so this is personally as a player, I am one thing I've been tackling, and this has been since earlier testing, is rig combinations in gear. Okay, so how do you find the best way to go? My apologies there. How do you feel the best way to go around using like 1 to 3 pool abilities? Let's say like pulverizers, knockouts, thresh flail, and then stepping up to 2 and 3 pools, such as flamethrower at 2 pool, and then which is damage and buff, and then 3 pool abilities such as the debuffing pulse can. Do you believe that it is more beneficial to have lower abilities with maybe one rig that is using a higher ability, just so you don't overshoot it, take too long to be able to use your abilities, I guess that I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's our goal from a design perspective to kind of never make there be one clear answer under all circumstances. I mean, both need to be correct under different situations, right? So, as from a balance perspective, something we really try to do is not make that choice have an obvious answer. So, at various stages in development, there was a lot of power in just plunging all of your levels into a single rig to try to get that special move online and, really let them just kind of carry the team. And that didn't feel good to us. It wasn't very exciting. We wanted people to spread their upgrades, but at the same time, still feel that pull of the special move, wanting to have that more powerful ability coming online. So, I mean, for me personally, I try to look for, okay, what do I expect my opponent to be doing? One of the things that I think makes this a little tough right now is that with the launch of the Steam version, we simplified our unranked matchmaking to make it really more like a quick match mode where you can really just focus on getting your squad together and getting out there. During our alpha testing, we had a draft mode.
Yeah.
We're really excited about pulling that back in for our ranked play, which we're actively working on right now. I think that's going to give a lot more depth to the sort of back and forth nature of squad composition. But anyway, I digress a little bit. But I think you really just got to ask yourself, how much am I going to be able to farm during this match? And, you're going to have to be able to control the center of the map and control the uplink, and that's going to take a lot of your bandwidth, and you have to make sure that you're going to still have enough bandwidth to get the XP you need to bring all the abilities you need online. I mean, I personally tend to spread my points more than anything. I tend to like 2 rigs that are functional but maybe not done at level 2, and then a third that really doesn't come online until 3. So a little bit of like a soft carry. I think that leaves me flexible in a lot of ways because that's really not that much XP to be getting during a match. So even if we end up in in a match that requires a lot of harassment and a lot of back and forth, I'm still going to have my abilities online probably. So that's really what it comes down to, is just like how efficient are you as a farmer, and how much can you split your attention and farm successfully while you're able to maintain the harassment you're going to need to control the center.
Speaking of harassment, I could have made a joke there. I'm not going to. Let's see. So, with the summoner class, one thing I've noticed, and I want to know if this is more of a player-made meta or if this is something that you guys had intended, and that is the people are using specific summoners to kind of kite around solo as distractionary, measures, and I love it. So you guys intended that fully with summoners, or?
Yeah, I mean they're kind of our caster class. They really rely on those lower cooldowns and spamming those abilities at the right time. And our kind of vision for them is that they would really enable a lot of map control, and that's where you get things like Hive Link and all these abilities. They're really the only class that can jump around the map quickly. So that was a kind of a hallmark of them, and I love the way summoners have kind of shaken out in the current meta. Like we've been talking about how we're going to release this fifth class down the line. I think that it's really going to take that fifth class before the whole sort of larger vision for the design of each one of these classes becomes really clear to everybody. But I like that they're so trolly. Their turrets are just like, they're frustrating to deal with at times, and reconstructive maneuver and can pop in out of nowhere, and then you've got null field silencing people. They've got the best silences in the game. I think that, but that's kind of like their end all be all. They're there to kind of get in your face and mess around, but if they stick around too long, they're gonna die. Like, they just don't have the health pool. And they're also pretty well countered by summoners. So if you silence them, they're not very useful units anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what we were hoping to see out of them.
On a quick side note, I just wanted to bring up that just over a week ago, PC Gamer staff and Aeesports, we held a little. It wasn't a complete bracket because it just ended up being too many participants.
Mm-hmm.
But we had this awesome little showdown. I know that the guys at PC Gamer love it, so we had a really good time playing that little tournament that we set up.
Oh, that's awesome.
And with that said, I want to move into. Let's see.
We've got a tournament feature coming really soon. We've been playing with it for a little while. We feel like this game is perfect for ad hoc tournaments because of the 15-minute match length, and you can do these like 16-person bracket single elimination tournaments that are over an hour.
Yeah,
we want to make it really easy to get together and play tournaments with people. So keep an eye out for that. It should be coming relatively soon.
Yeah, we did this in kind of a trial and error, because as I'm sure you could imagine, in order to connect and whatnot. But that sounds incredible. Just to throw that out there.
Yeah, we really want to make it easy for people to have those kind of events. We think that's a lot of the fun of the game.
Epic. So we have numerous players here at Excel Revolution who have taken Dropzone with fully open arms, and the success of the test phase transitioning into early access. How has it gone in regard to new players, and are you on track with your with the studio and publishers' estimates, or more so? Because it seems to be highly successful.
Yeah, we're really excited about the launch. I mean, the reviews in particular have just, it's been really positive, particularly from the gaming press like PC Gamer, seeing all the positivity out there. It just feels like there's a lot of love, and we've been just trying to soak it all up. You don't get to release a game all the time, so you work for years and years to try to get to this point, and then when you do, you just got to take a moment to savor it, because it is really awesome to see some of the reactions.
Awesome. Let's see.
And this is just the beginning. We have a long life planned for Dropzone. We've got another class coming. We've got a lot more gear getting ready to go out. We've got a lot more pilots kind of in the pipeline that we're building out. A lot more, even more modes of play. We'd like to do some more PvE, and I think there's a lot more to come that people get excited about.
Very cool. And nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Do you want to drop one of those classes as an exclusive here?
I don't want anybody to run in here and hit me, so I think I'll keep my mouth shut.
Fair enough, my friend. Fair enough. We have a third user question via Twitter, and it is: we have seen a huge increase of players over the past few days. Are these mainly newcomers who just purchased the title, or testers who just upgraded?
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of new people getting in the pool. And
Awesome.
That's been really cool. We've had this kind of diehard core group from the alpha phase that's been really awesome. Like the Dropzone Nation guys, they've been with us from really early on. Big players, you see them in the queue like all the time. It's awesome. But yeah, we're getting a lot of new blood, and it's cool.
Heck yeah. So well, one thing I just wanted to bring up about the staff in general. So at QuakeCon 2016, I walked over to the booth and had a warm, like, 2-hour conversation with Andre Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
And we discussed our passion for RTS. And immediately after, after he hooked us up with about 20 codes for the AE guys, I began to play it on my BYOC rig, and people were gathering around, checking out, and they're like, "What are you playing?" Because it's like, what is this? So I had a small group around me, and I thought that was awesome. So, with playing Dropzone and having people gather around me, as discussed a bit earlier, this is a mutual passion with players and team members due to the lack of RTS titles in recent years. Do you feel that we will see more RTS titles because of Dropzone? And at $19.99, that's a rather insane deal for the amount of content, especially with future content planned. Internally, what decided that price point?
We just we wanted it to feel like a good deal. That was really the goal. It is. That's great. Yeah, we wanted people to get access to a lot of the game right away, and we wanted to do early access because I think a lot of I don't think anybody's really figured out the best way to take advantage of early access, but something that we're really excited about is just that it's an opportunity to do our regular development process, which is really all about like rapid changes and a lot of iteration, and we can do it with a community of people who are excited about the game. So we're planning to keep up our weekly patch schedule for as long as we can. We're going to be adding a lot of big features pretty quickly, I think, relative to a lot of sort of the rest of the industry. And this is our chance to really give the players a chance to let us know what they think about the game, and if it's about gear balance, or if it's about maps, or if it's about play modes, anything at all. We're definitely listening, and we're excited about getting that feedback. And we felt like early access is absolutely perfect for this kind of thing.
All right, so you personally, what is your most often chose rig combination, and what is your, preferred play style?
So, I actually, I got really excited about this Fury build kind of before Fury kind of started taking over the meta, and mine was a little bit of a different riff on it. You're a
pioneer.
Well, I just, for a long time, Fury really wasn't doing very well, and that to me was a big shame because I'm a huge Fury fan. Just like I think the character's really cool, And so I'm always looking for ways to kind of get Fury working for me. And, Combat Rush on Fury was just like sick, and it has been really sick for a long time. I think we're going to have to put out some changes to Combat Rush in the not too near distant future.
Okay.
But, having her with twin coils and shock prod was something that, thematically it just felt cool. You've got all this chain lightning popping around, and it was just a lot of fun to run that build. I'm also a big Plutus fan, mostly, and I'll be honest, it's because I really like his VO. It's just awesome hearing him like lurk around the battlefield, and I love me some reconstructive maneuver and cloning laser on him in particular. I'm also a big knockout fan. I keep ending up having to nerf stuff I love because
you're the one. You're the one.
It ends up getting strong. Like I've been a big fan of flamethrowers.
You killed my knockout. Okay.
Knockout. I still think she's viable. Like I've been psyched on her with crumple panels. I haven't seen people running crumple panels a ton, but ECM locks is so trolly though. It kind of like takes the day. One day, I'm really hoping we see some Warhead come back. I love those hooks, and the hooks, they don't feel great to me right now, but I think we'll get them there in time.
Okay.
But yeah, those are some of my favorites. I've never been a huge Recon fan. Recon was just like a dominator in the meta for a little while. So
during testing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was ripping it up with them.
I'm not a big mechanic player, but I think mechanics have a lot that hasn't been discovered about them that is going to have them dominating matches in the future.
Are you giving me a hint here?
Well, I can't even know it's just a feeling that like I think they have untapped in the hands of the right player. I think they have some untapped potential. One of our testers, Seafood Gumbo, and Rami is our designer here. Both of them do some pretty interesting stuff with some Cortex builds and some crazy turbine builds and stuff like that. And it's just a feeling, but I think we'll see a lot more of them.
Now, one thing I wanted to really hammer about the art direction, because the video you guys put out is absolutely gorgeous.
Thanks.
I mean, it's like, damn. So, displaying that environmental art, the world feels alive. There's dynamic things going on. You guys mentioned all the different graphical or what you were using graphically to create that. And were these design choices prior to the success of the game, or on the pre-planned roadmap, or just once the early access funding came in to really nail your initial vision? Because to be honest, this wasn't something I noticed in testing as much until after I saw that video. Then I was like, whoa.
So maps in particular have been they've kind of played an interesting role for us throughout the development of the game. I mean, when we started the game, like we literally didn't have a map team. I did the design for Juggernaut and for Mind the Gap pretty long time ago, and we had artists kind of decorating them out when they could, but it was. I don't remember how long it's been now, but we got this guy, Hugo Bayer, who's like, he just is a crusher of environments. He does the most beautiful materials work, and he's pulled in a bunch more just like super strong artists to help him out. That those guys have just been killing it. And we realized really not too long ago that like, wow, this could be like our bat power here. Like we've got some incredible map artists, and we're going to try to see what we can do with a new 1v1 map that we've got in Greybox space now. We're going to, I think the game needs more maps, and now that we've got the team that can really nail it, I'm excited to see what we can do. We're really getting our pipeline nailed down, so I think that we'll be able to start making them at a much faster pace. And yeah, so I think you'll see a lot more. I think our best work is definitely ahead of us in that department.
Effing awesome. Let's see. We're nearing about 40 minutes. So, as a closeout in the conversation, I'm just, what is your message to the community in regards to not only the various metas or styles of play or just diving into the game, but you already brought up things about the future of the title, which are everything seems totally promising. But is there any message you just want to shout out to the community that adores this game at the moment? Or
I mean, first off, just thanks for playing. I mean, it really, really means a lot. Like I said, we've been blown away by some of the reaction that we've been getting, and also, I want people to know that we really are out there listening. We have people from Sparking Fans. We're not a big team. We're pretty small, actually. We've got 38 full timers and another dozen or so contractors beyond that. And we try to catch the streams whenever we can. We hang out in the Discord chat with people, and we're in the queue pretty much all the time. And we want your feedback. We want to hear what you're digging, what you're not digging, and we're actually going to make those changes. The community to us is a critical partner for this game in the long term, and we just appreciate you guys being along for the ride.
just so you know, I just posted on the ESL Dropzone Discord. Stuart's killing it.
Thanks, man.
So I guess from there, I'm even more optimistic than I was before this interview, and I was highly optimistic. So
Cool, man. Thank you.
I just wanted to thank you for the time and for answering a few of those community questions along with my own. And I was doing my best to give you an interview that was out of the norm, I guess.
Thanks, man. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
And if after some of these updates come out, if you want to discuss them, and especially when we get these brackets, if you want to groove, then I think we have to groove and play.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good to me.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna cut the stream here. And Allie, have you transcribed everything? I assume. Okay, hold on. She's probably typing at the moment. So, one second. Let me cut this.